How y'all doing today, good people? I just wanted to come on here and talk about something that has been on my mind for several months now. It's kind of a revelation I received months ago, and I wanted to talk about it today. And it's about the disconnect between men and women and how this comes about. When I had this revelation, several months ago, and it's that boys grow up competing, girls grow up relating. Boys establish their identity through competition. Women, girls, establish their identity through relationships. As you're a child and you're growing up, you're trying to establish your identity. You're trying to figure out who you are. What is this all about? The thing is, men, boys, they grow up and it's like, it's all about being the winner. It's all about being the best, even amongst your peers. You know, they clowning each other, they joke on each other for not being good enough. Boys will pressure other boys and make them feel like they're sissies or whatever because they don't behave a certain way. Boys are greatly, they're very biased. Think about, and just children are very biased, you know what I'm saying? So I'll say that, but this is the way the boys' biases generally work. But the way that boys will be biased, think about the movie, The Little Rascals, okay? Like, they had the He-Man Woman Haters Club, and they're like 5-6 years old, and they have this Woman Haters Club, right? It's no girls allowed. So like little boys have this, ew, girls stay away, like jump rope, no, I'm not doing that, Barbie's, ew. Whereas girls, they'll entertain the things that boys do. You know, they might go and play on the basketball court, just dribble around. They might maybe they look silly. They don't mind looking foolish doing it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times. Most times they don't. They'll go play with the boys or do what the boys are doing. But boys don't really have any interest in what the girls are doing. They think it's stupid. They're talking, they're playing with dolls. It's so stupid. They think it's stupid. Girls are literally working on relationship skills from the time as soon as they come. That's what they're trained to work on, and that's what they work on all throughout their childhood with their friends and their Barbies, their dolls, all of this. Girls grow up relating, they establish their identity through relating to other people, where boys establish their identity through competing with other people, and that's just seems to be the way it happens. So boys are very merit oriented, okay? Like, think about the jock, you know what I'm saying? The high school football player or this or whatever. It's like they have a certain status, right? But it's all based on competition. It's all based on competitiveness. Now, humans, being a human, you're going to have some level of competition. As you know, even just animal, being a form of life, there is competition in life. So let me say that competition is inherent to nature. It's natural, right? A tree is going to compete with the tree next to it for oxygen, for resources, right? So that's just natural. This drive for competition is more pronounced in men, you know, and women compete. You're not saying that, so please don't. I'm just saying it's more pronounced in men. They're very competitive, and boys are very competitive. So they grow up in this way where it's like your identity is being established by what you're good at, with your physicality, with your intelligence as a boy. So by the time you get to a manhood, it's like, he's got to be good at this and good at that and intelligent. And that's where his value is found in, right? Like, he's like, this is how I establish my identity. I'm good at this. I'm good at that. Whereas girls, they grow up and their identity is more established in their qualities of how to relate to other people, being caring, being nurturing, being loving, warm, whatever have you. And yeah, we'll be good at things too, but it's just interesting because the value that is placed on our relational skills is pretty much non-existent to the opposite sex. Because by the time a boy gets to be yearning and desiring girls, their attention and their time and everything like that, now this other factor comes in, mind you, where, okay, they're establishing their identity based on competition, based on status, based on ability and skills. So by the time they start to desire a girl, and they've spent their childhood looking at girly things and things girls do as stupid, dumb, pointless. They don't want anything to do with that Barbie or that color pink or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? That the girl is indulging in. Whereas the girls aren't really so concerned. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, whatever. They're just not as anti-boy, I would say, as boys can be anti-girl, you know. And this is just like, this is just, and you know, little kids at this age, this has been my observations. Let me tell y'all first, just so you have this as an idea of where I'm coming from. I worked in a children's summer camp and with the YMCA, and there were like over 100 little boys. Man, it was like actually 300 boys and 300 girls. I'm talking about 100. It was a lot of kids, and they were from the ages of like 5 to about 12, because the older kids, I wasn't around them. But the younger kids, and I was with the boys group, and then they put me with the girls group, and I wanted to go back with the boys group. Personally, the boys were more fun. The girls were just so self-maintained, I felt like I didn't even need to be there. So I was like, put me back with the boys. This is boring. Because these girls, like, they got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just what it was. But it blew my mind. It really did blow my mind. So I'm going to tell you one quick story from this summer camp. We had all the kids in the gym one day, and the director was in there, and we were supposed to watch a movie on a Friday in the gym. All the kids are in there. She said, okay, all the girls come on this side, all the boys come on this side. So they split the girls and the boys up. I'm on the side with the boys because that's who I was with. I was with a boys camp, the sports camp. It was one girl actually in my camp, but she was on the girl side in the sports camp. And that's what I'm saying. Just you know, I was with the sports camp, not the boys camp. I had the sports camp. And there was only one girl who chose to be in the sports camp. So before anybody was like, oh, girls like sports too. Yes, but I'm speaking generally. I am a girl who played basketball. I love sports. So I'm speaking generally. And like if we're being honest, we can say, yeah, that's generally true. Okay. I was there, and I'm like, the sports camp was all boys, one girl. She could have went in the dance camp, the gymnastics camp. There were other camps that the girls chose. They chose that camp. So girls chose like the gymnastics camp, the dance camp, the cheer camp. That's what the camps that they chose. The boys chose more physical, hands-on, stuff like that. So I got the sports camp anyway, and so the boys are on one side, girls on one other side, and then the director says, hey, all right, now for each camp, we want y'all to line up in lines, get in single file lines, and once you guys are in a single file line and you're quiet, we're gonna sit everybody down and start this movie. Man, I was blown away by this experience, because this was like, I mean, this was just, you know, people be like, oh, there's no difference between boys and girls and different, and like, you know, it's socialized and programming and all this stuff, but a part of this has got to be biology, because these kids are just too young. They were just too young. It's like, no, there's got to be some biology in this, and you know, that's a whole nother topic. But yo, when I tell you, we never watched the movie because the boys would not stand in a straight line, be quiet, and keep their hands off each other. Like, it took like a few minutes before the girls' camp was, with the girls' camps, they had all their lines straight. It was all quiet, you know what I'm saying? Or at least, you know, quiet, making way less noise than the boys, because the boys were just like being rowdy. So, and it was just, as soon as the boys would almost get to that place where they were just about in line and quiet, either the girls' camp, something would go on over there, or the boys' camp would reignite, because the girls' camp been waiting over there, and they're little kids too, so they get impatient, so they tired of standing there with their, you know, hands in they folded up and just being quiet. Eventually them little kids gonna start talking. So it was just like this back and forth, and but pretty much the girls would be quiet and in a line, and the boys just would not keep their hands to themselves, would not stop talking, would not stand in a straight line. It was fascinating. It was fascinating. I was like, this is fascinating. Like, I mean, it was really, really so interesting, because I just had never seen it at that scale before, because it was just so many kids. And I'm just like, how is it that all the little girls are over here are able to stand in a line and be quiet? Like, they're naturally will listen. And this was the same experience I had with the sports camp. Now, I mean, the sports camp, because then they put me with the dance camp for a couple days, but I was like, nah, I don't like this. This is no fun. Because first of all, I ain't no dancer. Second of all, I'm in the room with the girls, and it was like they didn't need me. I was just like, they settled their own disputes. It was just like, it was crazy. Like, if one of the little girls start crying, the other girls come around and console her. And then if somebody did somebody wrong, the other girls would, you know, to tell her about herself and stuff. And it's like, it was just so low maintenance. And these kids were all under 12. Like, so I was just like sitting there watching them be great. Basically, they were doing their own flips. I don't know how to do flips and stuff. I don't know how to do cartwheels and all that, and I don't know how to do all those dances y'all doing. They were just sitting there being great, and I'm just sitting there watching, and I'm just like, they don't need me. Let me go back with boys camp, because first of all, I like sports, and the boys, they were just more fun for me. And I have 2 boys now, so don't say, I'm not saying I don't lie. Like, this is just my observations. So, but I really I loved the boys camp. They were fun. Like, granted, they were a handful. They were a handful because they always would get into fights. Like, one of them offend the other, they get into fights. One of them start crying, and nobody cared. The other boys did not care when one of the boys started crying. If anything, they would go off and keep playing the game, or they just want to get back to playing. Or they would make fun of the boy who's crying. It was just like so different from the girls, the way the boys operated at such a young age. It was so different from the way that the girls operated. But I preferred to be with the boys nonetheless. But all of these things, you know what I'm saying, didn't even reveal to me until now. I'm like, till a few months ago, I was like, wow. So boys grow up through this competitive lens. They're competing with each other. They're trying to be better, and this is where they see value. This is how they define and where they find value and how they establish their identity. Meanwhile, they're looking at the girls and what they're doing, and they're thinking this relational stuff is stupid. So by the time they start desiring girls and wanting their bodies, that's the only value they see in them, because they've practiced as a boy not valuing anything that little girls do or work on or practice or bring into the table. They just, it's this like divide, even in childhood. But as a boy matures, if he does not mature into a man, he will never see the value and acknowledge the value of a woman. He can't. When a man gets stuck in a boy's mentality, he cannot value what women bring to the table. He cannot value what women naturally embody and what they offer as women. In fact, there's a constant devaluation of that, just like in boyhood, where boys are like, ooh, girls, nasty, ooh, that's so stupid, that's so dumb. Because that's how they act. Like, it's just like, that's just what it is. You know, and it's like, nobody's faulting little kids for being little kids. It's just what it is. If a child never grows up and matures, that's what it's going to be, though. They're going to grow up and they're going to have this ferocious desire. Their body will constantly desire a female. And this is, I'm telling y'all, this is why a lot of men have this resentment towards women. They secretly hate women because their skin, their flesh, their body, their bones is constantly desiring the touch, the intimacy, the warmth, the feel of a woman. And so there's this cognitive dissonance because mentally they don't even understand what the value of a woman is. They like, I know that all that feels good when I touch on her and when I get to do this and I get to put my thing here and do that, but they don't see the value in a woman. They can't see because they spent their time as a boy mentally devaluing girls and not seeing any value in them outside of their physical beauty, their looks, how they look, how they make them feel. So boys who never mature, they're selfish. They're so selfish because their whole thing is, I have to be the best. I have to be the winner. I have to win. I have to win. I have to win. That's all they can think about. They never learn to be partners. So a lot of women get in these relationships, even get married and all this, and they don't find a partner in a man because he never learned to be a partner. All he was trained to do, all he grew up to be was a conqueror. And once he's conquered you, he's ready to move on now and conquer something else. Okay, so it's like there's this divide. By the time men and women, girls and boys reach adulthood, it's like a boy has to go through some type of rite of passage where he comes to understand the value in women, in girls, in femininity. Because if he does not, he's going to be a toxic man to any woman he encounters. He can't help it. He does not have the skills. He never thought the skills that women were practicing, like communicating and empathizing. He never thought that was important. Compassion. Never thought that was a sympathy. Never thought these things that women were practicing were important. Friendship. Never thought that stuff was really important. It was stupid. You know, girls sleep over, like, stupid. So, even like, so that just gave me this huge understanding of like, how do we get to this place where we're adults And men will chase women so hard and want to be with a woman so bad, but then at the same time drop the ball so fantastically. So fantastically. And even on a societal level, why is it that, you know, there's this like disconnect in what women bring, in the value that women hold? And I realize that starts from a very young age, where it's like, and just reflecting on that experience and the experiences with small children, this starts at a very young age, where what's important to girls is not important to boys, you know. And furthermore, society and the systems and structures that are in place are designed to validate the things that the boy thinks is important. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's sports teams, there's there's athletes getting paid millions of dollars so that boy can see, oh, if he's into science or math, whatever, you can see, you know, whatever it is, like politics, where you can see that power has manifested in the world, that skill has manifested in the world. People give some type of respect and honor to these positions and titles and skill sets that people have. But as far as what the girls are over here doing and being relational and working on and communicating and crying and going through all these emotions and all of that and dealing with their emotions and all of that, they don't see out in the real world anybody getting celebrated for that or awarded for that. And you got to understand, as children, that's what they are driven to do, be celebrated and awarded. And oftentimes they are celebrated and awarded, even for the bare minimum. So when they get to be older and they're held accountable, held to a standard, and somebody is not celebrating them and rewarding them, it is like, again, if a boy doesn't become a man, he will resent you because you hold him accountable. He will think that you're attacking him when you're sharing your feelings with him, because he never grew up to practice those skills. Those skills were not practiced. The skill of just being better than somebody was what was being practiced nonstop. So a lot of men, when they get in relationships, they think, oh, I want to love this woman, and they end up in competition with her. Not because that was their intention, because that's all they knew to do from boyhood, was to compete. Even men will compete with each other for women. Women compete with each other for men too. But y'all know men are very, very competitive. You know what I'm saying? Like, very competitive. So like, even over women. So it's just what it is. And you know, the funny thing is, to me, is that people hate to be truthful about human nature and what it is. And it's really irritating. It's frustrating, because it's like, what's the point of diluting everything to the point where it doesn't match reality? Let's deal with reality. And yeah, we're speaking, I understand I'm speaking generalizations, but these generalizations, they're like, you know, we understand there are exceptions to this. Like, not every little boy is like this, and not every little girl is like this, but generally this is how it works. So in this country, in this culture, in America, there's no rite of passage for a boy to become a man. He just turns 18 and he's a man. But really, there's a lot of maturation. They say girls mature faster than boys. There's a lot of maturation that does not happen before a boy reaches manhood, when he does not learn to value the things that girls are interested in and the things that they're into. Not saying, because those skills, those communication skills, that ability to be in touch with your emotions and all of those things that they look at as stupid, dumb, whatever. It's like, that is necessary actually to succeed in life. And so by the time the man and the woman meet in a relationship, it's a place where the woman has so many social skills that she can teach this man. She can help this man grow. So many emotional skills that she can help him grow with. Should be able to. And vice versa, the man should be able to teach the woman things as well. Teach her the things that where she's weak in, he can be her strength, and vice versa. And they can build and grow off each other. But the man has to truly value what the woman, he has to think that it's even desirable to know what she knows. So a lot of times, I've heard men say this: ain't no woman can't tell me nothing. Ain't no woman about to tell you. Ain't no woman about to tell no man nothing. And again, people would deny this, like, no, men don't have a problem with women telling them what to do or giving them advice. Like, stop lying. Y'all know that's a lie. That's a lie. Let's be honest. Most men do not like for a woman to tell them anything. They just don't, because they don't value women's opinions. They don't think women are intelligent. They don't think women are smart. They don't think women know what they're talking about a lot of times. I'm not saying all men, because there are men who go out of their way to listen to women. But you know that's not the average man. The average man is not always seeking a woman to talk to get advice from. The average man will go talk to his boys and get some, and hopefully maybe get some wise, but most times they're not leading each other but right to the same ditch. So they talking to another man who grew up the same way, competing and values achievements, awards. That's why, women, I don't watch so many stories of women, coming out of marriages 20, 25, 30, 35 years. And they were the stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom. And the man, or even less than that, a couple years married, the man is like, you don't do anything. I'm the one who does everything. I bring home the money. And meanwhile, she's a stay, because the man never grew up to value. He don't value what that woman does and what she brings to the table. He don't value it. So that gives him a right to, of course he can walk all over her. He don't value what she does. He thinks that his breadwinning is all it's about, because that is the way he was raised. That's the way he grew up. Maybe not raised, but that's the way he grew up. That's the way he established his identity, was based on accomplishments and what I get and what I have and what I'm good at and what skills I can offer and those things. Okay. So women find themselves in positions where they get with men who pursue them fiercely, ravenously, because their flesh is driven, their eye is drawn, and they love the way the feeling of the woman. She's like a warm blanket on him. Okay. But as soon as that blanket gets a little warm, or that blanket ain't so warm because she having a bad day, or she's not in a good mood, or she's not, now she's a little chilly, oh, he want to take the blanket off and throw it in the trash. Throw it in the trash, because that's all it was. The woman was not, what else? I just saw this video of this man, like, why would a man be in a relationship with a woman if it wasn't for love? What did he get from a woman besides love? And he was saying it with such conviction that the woman sitting across from him was like, she couldn't even answer it. And I thought that was strange. I'm like, what? Sex, free labor, children, what? Like, men want kids. Don't let them lie to you and act like kids is something that only men want kids. They want the title of being a father. Not saying they want the responsibility, but they want the title. They want children just as much as women. But what else they get? I mean, come on, like that. I seen a couple men actually. What does a man benefit from a woman? And that's what I'm saying. I seen a man. This man was in his like 50s talking about, what does a man actually benefit from a woman? Please tell me what women actually bring to the table besides sex. And that's what I'm saying. You can go right now and online and search and see so many men talking about how women don't bring nothing to the table besides sex. Because growing up, they never saw anything important about women developing relationally or emotionally. So they get into adult relationships, and it's a relationship. So you need relationship skills, and you need to be emotionally mature or intelligent. And the woman has been working on these things, whereas the man has not. 9 times out of 10, he has not. As a boy, he did not have to work on this stuff at all. So he gets into a relationship and he still wants the sense of superiority and leadership. But how can you lead somebody in a relationship when you never worked on your relationship skills? How can you lead somebody when you was never working on your empathy and your sympathy? How can you lead this woman in this relationship when she's the one who's been practicing relationship skills? She's the one who's been doing the people thing, being a human being, practicing being a human being. You've been practicing being a machine. And you want to come into a relationship with a woman and then be the leader. So now when she expresses her feelings, when she expresses something to you that you need to work, you can't get out of this. The mindset is that everything is a competition. Everything is about me being better, me being superior, me being faster, or whatever, smarter, whatever, you know? So when you get with that woman, it's not a relational thing. It starts as a relational thing because, oh, it feels good. But as soon as it doesn't feel good anymore, now it's a competition. Now I have to act like a man. I got to be the man. And if she wants to challenge me, now she's being manly because she's competing with me. One second. So yeah, that is the revelation that I got about the situation. And, you know, it's just, it's evidenced everywhere, you know. It's pretty evident. But it helped me to understand, you know, and it gives me some type of direction when it comes to raising my own boys, because I want them to be relationally competent and emotionally competent when they get older and as they get older. And yes, I want them to value their skill set and value the things that they're good at and find their gifts and operate in their gifts. But I don't want them to feel like that's the only value that they have as a boy, you know, but that they are valuable inherently and intrinsically. And so, you know, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of boys never get that lesson. So they grow up thinking and feeling like their value always comes from their performance. And so when a woman is bringing their performance into question, or, you know, offering any advice or suggestions, that's seen and felt as an attack, and they can't receive it because they never were even designed. They never were even raised or whatever to respect a woman's mind, a woman's opinions, a woman's feelings, a woman's preferences. Those things were never, they never mattered to little boys, you know? So that's why you have to teach, we really have to teach boys to honor and respect little girls, honor and respect women, you know, and also to not place so much of their value in what they can achieve and what they can become, and what position they hold, you know, what title they have or what status they have. Yeah. But it's just unfortunate because right now the state of affairs between, you know, a lot of men and women as a collective is really, the stories that I just been hearing are just so sad. You know what I'm saying? How men will just like, God, like completely devalue and dismiss women and what they offer and what they're good at. And they would just, it's just crazy. It's really sad. But I've come to understand it with that understanding. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. And hopefully that helps somebody in some kind of way. In some kind of way. I hope that is like, makes sense. Help somebody to make sense of whatever's been going on in your situation or whatever's going on with you. So yeah, because for me it was like, it's helpful because I have sons. I can't change no grown adult. Don't have any desire to change any grown man or heal or fix anybody. People have to do that work on their own. I just want to understand, how do we get here? How do we get to this place? And it's like that a man can be in a relationship, well, in a marriage with a woman, and all, you know, like story after story after story, and then just act as though what she gave had no value. What she brought to the table had no value, and when he leaves he wants all his money. He don't want to give her nothing and all of this, and it's like that. She didn't work, she wasn't doing that, she was making, I was the one doing everything, making. It's like, you don't assign a dollar, a penny to her cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children, changing diapers, teaching the kids, maintaining the house, whatever you sign, because as children, that's not what they're compelled to do. They don't cleaning up, all that stuff. No. Now some boys are like, okay, they made to be clean. Like their parents are very strict about that and make them clean up and stuff like that, which is important for anybody, a human in general. But it's like those things have inherent value. Everybody has to do them. But when it comes to giving women any type of, it's like she made to do that. That's what she's supposed to do. There's no value assigned to it. It's like, oh, that's stupid stuff that she's into, whatever, as children. So I just think boys need to grow up. You know, men have to really grow up. We all got to really grow up. You know what I'm saying? All of us got to grow up. But when it comes to a man, actually, a man who can't appreciate or understand what a woman even has to offer him, is still a boy. He's still a boy. That's a boy's mind. So watch out for the boy mindset. Watch out for the boy mentality. You know? And just because he say he a provider and protector don't mean he's providing and protecting anything. That could be providing you with anxiety, depression, stress, headaches, heartaches, emotional abuse, whatever, you know, I'm providing it and I'm protecting my ego, my false sense of self, my image. That's what I protect and provide. So be careful, ladies. Be careful, because I'm going back to this. Yes, the serpent is swallowing up the dust. He swallows up the dust. He does. And this is one of the ways it manifests. This is just one of the ways it manifests. And it seems so subtle and like, you know, whatever, but it's like it starts very, very young. Where it's like girls, what they have, what they are, what they do is meaningless. Boys, what they do, what they are, what they have, it means everything. And so here we are. Hopefully things change in the next generations and things get better. And with that said, folks, this message has been long, brought to you by a little bit too long. No sponsors today. But I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope that this was educational, beneficial, edifying to the body of Christ. Even though I didn't really talk about anything that's directly related to the Bible, I know that if I want to, I can tie this up to the Bible. I can find all types of examples about this in the Bible. But I'll save that for the next video. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed.